All right, welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, your master of monstrous menace, X7, also the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. Today we are going to be talking about the 1967 movie, Japanese movie, that was released by Shochiku, 1967, right? Yes. One of the three oddball movies that got released by various studios that weren't Daiei and or Toho at the time. And this was one of my favorites because I just love this critter, Guilala. It's just charmingly, goofily endearing. So, having said all that, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the movie, Guilala, the whole mid to late 60s monster scene in Japan, just booming at the time, even though television was drawing away many viewers. Let me know what you think. And if you could watch just a little longer than usual, that'd make me really happy. So, are you ready? Let's get ready to blast into adventure.
地球僕たちの星宇宙僕たちの世界未来僕たちの明日みんな僕たちのもの地球僕たちの星宇宙僕たちの世界未来僕たちの明日みんな僕たちのもの
Okay, so this is the American International dub. Mostly, it came from the restored version with the U.S. dub from Tetra because the international dub is really weird. The international English dub, I can see why it was redubbed because the accents were all over the place. Titled "The X from Outer Space," which of course we've seen is the exact title that Shochiku gave to us. These are our two main stars. Peggy got top billing here, but the poster she was third billed, and Toshia Wazaki is Captain Sano. So, and directed by Kazuo Nihomatsu. I don't know what else he's done, but the movie itself was released March 25th, 1967. It was released over here sometime in 1968 directly to television in a panned and scanned version by American International Television. I saw it in the probably around 1980, though I'd seen Guilala and the ship, the AAB Gamma, many times in pictures without much of didn't tell you much. So there is a DVD from the Criterion Collection called When Horror Came to Shochiku, which has Gok, The Living Skeleton, and Genocide, none of which I care that much for. So you'll know we're getting toward the end of the time here when I'm reviewing them. But now we get to, this came from a DVD that I had many years ago that came from Japan, which had the international dub on it, as we call them. So we started out with a helicopter landing in front of Mount Fuji. There's the Fuji Astro Flying Center, is the FAFC, which you hear a lot in there. And they're trying to get to the Red Planet, but every ship that's gone there has been blown up for some mysterious reason. There's Captain Sano. There's our intrepid crew, and I guess these are their backups. This is where they watch from Earth to the moon to the red planet. There's Peggy as Lisa. That's all she gets is Lisa Schneider is her name, apparently. I believe Peggy Neal was a model in Japan. She was in this and the bizarre and fun Terror Beneath the Sea, which that will get reviewed as well. And that is our doctor, the original doctor. Um, which one is he? Is that Miyamoto? No, Dr. Kato. That's Eiji Okada, who we have seen him before, I think. Anything? I'm just looking. X from Outer Space, Sands of Kurobi, Lone Wolf and Cub. Okay, so he's not anything that I've really seen. I've seen some, but anyway. That's our doctor, and there is our comic relief, and I guess Astrogator, H. Miyamoto. So, yes. So the cast and crew have a lot of fun together. They know they're going up there. They might not come back because every other spaceship that's gone up has exploded. They get in and load up, and Miyamoto makes a play for Lisa, but she just rebuffs him because, well, as we'll find out. So look at all this super scientific equipment, but it's much smaller than the banks you'd see at NASA. Pardon me, NASA. There it is. Countdown, liftoff, and they do say liftoff, not blast off. But I like their little screen that keeps track of. There's how they get out of orbit, and there's a base on the moon. It is not Alpha Base, but kind of looks like it. And then they're planning on going to Mars to make soft landing, and that's the AAB Gamma, which stands for Atomic Astroboat Gamma. And I love the design of this little ship. It's cool. It's more spacious than you'd think. And once they get out of orbit, they can get about. And that is Dr. Stein there. No, Franz Gruber is Dr. Berman. We've seen him in lots of things. And that is the director or somebody. I don't know. But they're talking about, are they coming back? We don't know. So this looks like they're popping popcorn, but I think it's actually supposed to be some kind of radiation meter, And they're having a discussion. Then they see the flying saucer, which Miyamoto calls the world's largest world's largest fried egg. It looks very organic. We're never told where the flying saucer is from or why they do what they do. They assume it might be from Mars, but that's one of the mysteries, and it's fun to have a little mystery in the movie. Unfortunately, Dr. Kato gets sick from space fever or something, and they're like, and Sano makes the decision to go to the moon so he can get treatment. And Lisa has an argument with him, and he just says, "Get in your chair and buckle up." So they do, because she wanted to give him first aid, but he didn't know if the saucer would attack or not or what. It also interferes with communication, so once they're out of range, they can get on their telecoms and get back their immediate communication, so it doesn't take 8 minutes or however long that it used to. I don't know when this movie is actually set. Does it say? No, not here. All right. So there. I just like the way these are set up. Lisa gives the doctor some first aid. And there's the moon, the non-craggy moon, that is the normal moon. There's the base. And there is Michiko, who is played by Itoko Harada. Michiko Taki, and she's the other female lead. And she's not happy to see Sano next to Lisa and almost lets him crash. But she saves him. As they're headed toward the moon, Lisa gives everybody coffee and tells Miyamoto to get his own. The doctor doesn't want any, but they're drinking in these long cylindrical cups, so obviously they're in the future. And lifts down, the airlock is complete. They cart the doctor there, and this is Mike Deneen, who we've also seen in other movies as Dr. Stein, and he's cranky because he's going to get drafted to go to Mars, and he doesn't want to do it. So here's a scene where Sano and Michiko are out on the moon, jumping up and down like children, and Lisa's just watching them forlornly. I never really figured that was Lisa until this very time. So I've seen this movie several times because, again, it's one of my favorites. It's a kind of a soapy space opera right at this point in time, and there's still soap elements, but she literally is thinking that I got a rock and he's jumping with the girl because she's in love with Sano. Go figure. We find out all the water is synthetic on here, which doesn't make any sense. Why they couldn't just bring some up on a cargo ship, but we get the slight cat fight with the girls here, where they're kicking soap at each other in their synthetic shower. But then they're friends again, so they have this odd thing. She's more annoyed at Sano, but they like each other. Um, Peggy gives Michiko a gift of earrings that she got aboard without being on the manifest, and Sano yells at her for it, and it's like, buzz off, Buster. So off they go. They got the cranky Dr. Stein is now on here on the way to Mars, but suddenly they get hit by asteroids because you can't have a space show without asteroids. I mean, there is an asteroid belt between Earth and Mars, so it's plausible. Miyamoto's butt blocks it, which is supposed to be comic relief. Lisa's a little shook up, and the apple pie shows up. I mean, it's a weird space. I love this looks great. The UFO is just weird. I mean, it looks organic, right? I'm right. Let me know in the comics. Dr. Stein goes crazy and hurts the captain, and then the ship makes everyone stop. And now Michiko is feeling badly because they're out of contact, and the UFO deposits all these spores onto the ship, which grinds it to a halt. Little do we know. But Lisa and Sano go out and get one of the spores, and then they brush the rest of them off so that the ship takes off and they go back to the moon. Actually, they have to go get more energy because all the spores have sucked it off, and Michiko goes out in her ship. They're right there. They're off course, in the middle of, there. But there's Michiko pulling up. She gets in. They're happy to see each other. So, I mean, they apparently like each other, which is nice that they're not really fighting over the guy. So there's the spore. They take it. I think they go back to Earth, actually, and don't even go to the moon, back to the moon. So they're looking at it. She's telling them what she's found. They haven't even gotten out of their space suits yet. And now they have, and they're at a party celebrating at least their successful bringing back a sample. Something's happened in the lab. The case has melted, and something's melted through the hole. And she's picking up the remnants of the spore, and then they find a footprint. Now, a lot of people say Guilala is just a Martian chicken, which is dumb. It doesn't look like a chicken just because it has. I mean, chickens are dinosaurs because they have dinosaur feet. But the power's going out, and there's a. If it was green, I'd say it was Hanpen's VW, but it's white. And the Hakone Hotel. All the power's out, and suddenly an explosion. So we're exactly at the 45-minute mark here, 45 minutes, halfway through the movie, which runs 89 minutes. A little less, probably 88 minutes because the credits are shorter in the US version without the song. And Guilala pops out. There it is in all its glory with full-fledged. It's beautiful. I mean, look at them. Some nice rotoscoping animation, and it they go looking for it, but all they find is a giant footprint, which matches that, as we see right here. So they got to be the creature out of the spore. And now the destruction starts. So it turns into mostly a general monster on the loose movie, although Guilala is just not very intimidating. Oh, there is the ladders advertisement that used tiny little Guilalas in it, which I meant to get to put on here. Maybe we'll do that at some point in time. I was worried about it's not a paid advertisement, YouTube, but nice shot here of Guilala stomping on people. Peggy said, the spore was held, the container is what kept it in there, and it absorbs energy. So, lots of destruction. Guilala can shoot fireballs. And there's some stupid book out there about somebody thought this was one of the worst movies of all time and didn't even get hardly any of the bits right. Parts about it. There's the Japanese Air Force, obviously in the future, because at this point in time they couldn't have one. They attack Guilala. They get blown. There, it's shooting its fireball. We get a bunch of headlines in various languages. So lots, and their masers or lasers, proto Markalites, well, actually post Markalites, but the maser tanks that came out the year before. So I think the effects look fine. This one, the framing's a little off here. It was just an accident, but look at that face. It just looks kind of happy. It's like you're feeding me energy by shooting me lasers. It picks up a well out of scale oil tanker and throws it. Kaboom! And Lisa is an accomplished scientist because she figures out how to fix it. We got to go back up there and get more spores so we can synthesize the gulalanium. Geez, that's a one. So off they go back there. They don't have an actual figure like they did in Varan, but there it is on their big board, and it just flies around. They can't figure out why it can move so fast. Nice match shot there. And now Michiko's on board. So they go get her. And, so this is all happening because I like this shot. Some of these shots of Guilala were just shot right, looking at it so you don't get a sense of scale, but they did some nice ones, from lower levels. There they go. She's like, we have to get it. Oh, see, there's the figure. And then we realize it can turn into a ball of energy. Either Bemlar or, the way the Ultras travel in space is in a ball of energy like this. So this was 1967, actually March 25th. Kind of predates Ultra. Ultraman was a year before. So there we go. And as it flies, it blows things up. Real good. So here we are. They're confronting the ship. And there's a nice shot. I mean, Guilala could have been a slightly different color to stand out a little more. But it goes and destroys stuff. And they get back. So they're going to bomb Guilala with all the goo. Right? Just a happy, happy monster. And it's going to attack. Lisa's been hurt. And she's trapped there. And these guys do not know how to help a woman. But lovely sequence. Michiko looks up and sees Guilala on the advance. So the guys go out to distract Guilala with this, the Guilala. The energy here, that's atomic energy because it's got the danger symbol. And here's a nice shot. That's a miniature, of course. So this is a forced perspective. But, some people, including your humble agent, have said this, reminds one of from Jurassic Park, but, it's not in the rain. But, it's pretty good. I think it. They bail out of the Jeep. Miyamoto and Sano bail out of the Jeep before it blows up. They get Peggy and Michiko out and put them in an ambulance. And now the bombers are off. They're loaded with the gulalanium. It's just a mouthful. And they fix up Miyamoto, and they bomb him. And they start dropping this stuff on him, and he gets goo. I mean, it's like a Stooges. Poor Guilala. But now the doctors are just like, okay, he's still wandering around, but he starts to shrink. And, turns, there you go. So they grab the spore, put it back in a container, and they're like, well, let's hope it never comes back. But now we know how to fix it in case it does. So they shoot it into space, a la Gamera, into a heliocentric orbit, a la Gamera. Lisa's forlorn because Sano has made his choice with Michiko, even though she never said anything to him, as far as we know. The doctor confronts her, that word I'm looking for, where he makes her feel better. Comforts her. Jeez. I couldn't think of continence yesterday either. Go figure. And there they are. Look at this, a lovely shot. I mean, it's actually almost poetic. Then we see a la Gamera, that looks exactly almost like the Plan Z rocket, just a year earlier, And that is the end of the movie. It's a fun movie. I really enjoy it. It's just wacky. The first part is so different than the rest of it, than the second part, but it all works together. The characters are likable. They have problems. Lisa comes to the realization she has to be tough or strong. The monster taught her that. So, all right. Our next episode is Monday, the penultimate episode for almost the last episode of the Savage Dragon. And then I hope we have time enough to put something at the end here. So, my fellow agents, until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off and phasing out.